Welcome to the training video, the third video of the introduction to Masterworks. This one is reports, dashboards, and workflows. We'll start off with reports and workflow and dashboards. First, reports are just a way of presenting information in an organized format. Masterworks has some out-of-the-box reports. Those are reports that are just built into the program. Everyone that uses the program gets those. Other reports are customized specifically for Iowa DOT, and there are several ways to access these reports. They're found in different spots. So there's enterprise reports, there's report galleries, form list page reports, and then there's a My Reports feature where you can actually create your own report. Just a little bit on enterprise reports. They're at the enterprise level, so from your home, you can select the different reports. Report galleries, these are found in other folders inside your project. They're smaller lists, generally a little more targeted to the project. Then the list pages all have pre-configured reports that are available up in the ribbon. You can select a record for detailed reports. So we'll do a demo for the reports. Open Masterworks up. Here I'm on the enterprise report, so from the home module up to enterprise reports. Some reports, you may not see all of them depending on your role. You'll just choose a target letting report. So to open one of these, you double click. All right, and when you open reports, there's generally some filters at the top to fill out. This one has a default begin and end date. I'm going to narrow this down. We'll run this one just for District 1. Oh, I apologize. It is loading the report. That's why this View Report button is grayed out. It is still working on loading information down here. And now it's done. Well, that is the filters, but since we have a report run, I'll just flip through a couple pages. Not sure what happened there, so we'll hit view the report again. Not sure what is taking this so long to load. These reports do not usually take this long. All right, here's a look at what the reports look like once they've run. Well, every report looks a little different. Some options for the reports. There's an export, export to Excel, PDF, Word. There's also a print option. So that's the enterprise report. We'll jump into a project here and find the reports under a project, the report galleries. So here's an example inside a project of the report galleries. There's reports, and it will be reports about the folder it's in. So in this case, it's a bid estimate for a specific phase. Double click on the report, just like in the enterprise reports. And we'll run, and here's this one's estimate history. So all the estimates that have been done on this phase. The other reports were from a list page. I'll go to our project phases. And we can just give an example. There's details report and list page report in this one. We'll open list page report. And there, that is just that list page in a form that can be exported or printed. All right, up next, we'll look at some dashboards. Dashboards, like other things, are at two levels. Here we have enterprise dashboard, provides views of enterprise level information, and the project dashboard gives you project level information. Here's a look at the enterprise. There's different options to select for a dashboard here. And then project level dashboards, only one has been set up at this point. More can be added in the future. So accessing pre-configured dashboards. I'll just open Masterworks back up. So here's the enterprise level. This is just your home screen. Come up with the dashboard. There's a few options to look at. Back to assign to if this doesn't take too long to run. Oops. And this didn't give any results because I'm not assigned as the bridge designer for anything. And this. So here's the assign to, and I just selected everyone. If you were searching, you would select either the road designer or bridge designer you're looking for, and in the other one, I would recommend adding all. That's the enterprise dashboard. Now, if we go back to a project, Like the home screen, this is kind of the landing page for the project. You open it up. Oh, there's a second one. With project summary, I don't think is filled out, but there are options here. That's where you can select between. Okay, there's one. So you can choose your dashboard here. All right, that was enterprise level and project level dashboards. Next is workflows. So workflows move a project through a process here, records, or excuse me, moves the record through the business process. Workflows kind of are associated to a form that's all set up in advance. And then based on the role, the user will perform the correct workflow steps. Often when a step is completed, it triggers an email to let the next person know that they are up on the project or record or any item that has a workflow associated to it. So the workflow controls are up here in the ribbon at the top. Select actions is probably the most used one. That's what you actually use to move a record to the next step. You can also look at the workflow status. It'll show you where it is in relation to the rest of the workflow. The workflow history, it just records when it's been moved from one step to the next, and if any notes were entered while moving it through, that's where you can view those. These last couple, associating a workflow to a record and selecting workflow users, we won't be using much. That's all pre-configured in the forms. All right, so we'll go to Masterworks and do a demo. Here I've opened up, it's a document with a workflow assigned to it. So over here, generally on the right, if you haven't reordered your columns, will be a workflow status column. And so there we can see some are approved. This one is in draft form. And then it shows you the roles that it's pending on. And if you hover your mouse over, it'll show you the rest of the roles. So to advance that through the workflow, if you have the appropriate role, you can select the record, select actions, and it will show you the next step in the workflow. In this case, the next thing is to submit it. And here's where I said you can leave a note. And now if we look at that record, this one happens to be a specification, so it's now submitted to specifications engineer. So pending on role, specifications engineer. I do have that role assigned for this project, so I can. Then the specifications engineer in this case has two options: to return it to a draft or approve in the actions. And if we look at, oh, okay. Well, if we go to history, here we can see it was in draft status. The action taken was submitted, and there's where the note is. It should give who did the step, yes. So that's the history of it. Another button in here is show pending on user. If you're not sure who it should be that's moving the workflow, you can use that button. And it will add another column. down here on the end, instead of just pending on roles, it will give you the list of users who can move the workflow forward. On this case, we're in the test site, so there's quite a few listed. And I could approve it. And now it's approved. Oh, show workflow status. That was not an option on this one, so let me quickly grab another. Let's go to project phases. So these similarly have a workflow status. I'm going to pick the one that's in ready for contracts. And here is our workflow status button. So this shows us all the steps here and the actions that have been taken. So it was in draft, it was marked as active, it's active, marked ready for contracts. And then we can see that's as far as it's gone so far. So in summary for this course, so over these last 3 videos, since this one was split into 3, we worked with you system unit user interface, navigated through the system, reviewed some common features in Masterworks, ways to sort and filter your list pages, saw enterprise features such as my tasks and enterprise reports, and then looked at some reports and dashboards. That brings us to the end of our course. Thank you.